What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. And look, things look a little different today. Megs is gone. Kodak's busy editing a video, so I'm rocking it solo here today. And we're going to talk about something that, oh boy, something that everyone here knows about already if you're on TikTok, Facebook, the news, pretty much. If you're on the internet at all, you know exactly what we're talking about today. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to talk about this on the podcast. I really didn't, because I don't know if it fits our vibe, if it fits our goal, if it fits this podcast in general. But today I knew, after the news that we learned last night, I knew I had to cover this. So, of course, you can tell by the title, you can tell by the, everything else going on. For the 13 people who are actually actively listening to this, you know the names Gabby Patito and Brian Laundrie. Now, let me give you a breakdown. If you've been hiding under a rock for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, however long it's been, I think this all started in late September, so it's been about 4 or 5 weeks. Here we go. Gabby Patito, Brian Laundrie. Here's the thing. They get a van, right? Everybody in COVID, everybody in 2020 has a van. I almost bought a bus. I know a couple people right now who are taking buses, taking vans, and retrofitting them with a queen size bed, a full kitchen, and a fucking shower, and just driving and parking wherever you want. That lifestyle for me, dude, that is it's freedom. It's the definition of freedom, to have your own house, your own living space, wherever you decide to park it, whether it's at a campground or an RV park or a fucking Walmart parking lot. We got homeless people living in our Walmart parking lot right down the street, dude. So if they can do it, so can we. So listen, it's been a goal of mine. Megs knows, Kodak knows. All I want is like a van or a bus or something to park wherever, drive wherever, and just have that freedom. Right? Because we can do a podcast. I can work. I can make websites. All I need is an internet connection to do my job. And it's just something that I think eventually I will have. So Gabby Patito, Brian Laundrie, they get this van. It's COVID. They're like, hey man, let's retrofit this van. It's only going to cost us like what? 10 grand. $10,000. So you save up a little bit, 3 months, whatever. Listen, we're still in COVID, baby. We're still in the lockdown, essentially. I mean, we're a little bit more free now, but COVID's still happening, right? So they said, let's get a van, let's travel the country, and let's do whatever the fuck we want to do. So they're driving. They're from Florida, and they're driving all the way across the country, and we end up in Wyoming. A lot of state parks there. A lot of fun things to do in Wyoming. I can't really list one fun thing to do in Wyoming. Fun things to do in Wyoming. Let's see what fun things to do there are in Wyoming. Oh, that's fucking hilarious, dude. I Google search fun things to do in Wyoming, and the first thing that comes up on Google, I'll put it on the screen. Not lying here, no cap here. If you need to know what cap means, go to episode like 4 or 5 of this podcast. We break it down. I Google fun things to do in Wyoming, and the first thing that comes up is Grand Teton National Park. Well, holy shit. If I'm not traveling across country in my new van, in my fucking bus that's retrofitted for me and my family, I'm going to Teton National Park. And guess what? That's exactly what Gabby and Brian did. They went to this park, and after they were done staying at this park, they go back home. So we assume. But the shitty part about this story is Brian drove that van right back home by himself. Now, if you're going on vacation and you're driving across country and you're with your significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, not sure what their marital status was. Definitely know they weren't married, but whatever the case may be. So if Megs and I decided to say, hey, we're going to Vegas, we'll be back, we're driving there in our van, and I come back without Megs. Boop. That's me raising my red flag because, hey man, where's Megs? I come back from my vacation without Megs. Where is she? So that's what Brian did. Brian drove the van back home to Florida without Gabby. And some red flags were raised. And naturally, everyone assumes, hey, where the fuck is Gabby Patito? Why isn't she home with you? That's what everyone's saying. That's what the news is saying. That's what we're saying. That's what TikTok is saying. And we're going to get to the TikTok investigators here in a minute. So he goes home and she's not with him. So the first question everyone has before they ask, oh, how was your trip? Oh, how'd it go? Oh, did you have fun? Oh, what did you get us any souvenirs? Because me personally, if you're going to Wyoming, I want a t-shirt. Get me a t-shirt. Get me a keychain, get me something. Before all those questions are asked, the first question that comes to everyone's mind, where's Gabby? So the cops are called because obviously Gabby's family, they're not taking any bullshit, right? Where's our daughter? Where's she at? Where is she? So now the FBI, the local police, the Wyoming police, the fucking entire country, dude, is looking for Gabby Patito. And Brian Laundrie is number one on the suspect, on the list. Everyone says, where's Gabby? And they're asking this question directly to Brian. There's no one else in question. There's no one else that we would even think to harm Gabby Patito except for Brian Laundrie. So he's like, I don't know. And then they're like, why'd you come back alone? Why didn't you come back with Gabby? And he said, wanted to. I wanted to come back without her. So there's police reports. There was an incident, I believe, in late August. Body cam footage from the cop has come out. They were arguing. She's crying. He's yelling. So this whole thing. So then now we presume Gabby's missing. We're thinking she might unfortunately be dead. But there's still hope. Right? So Brian, number one suspect, but no one's looking for him. No one gives a shit. No one really cares what Brian does within these 3 to 4 day windows. And now the FBI is involved. Once the FBI gets involved in trying to find Gabby Patito, we say, hey, wait a minute. Where's Brian? Where's Brian? And we do what we would normally do. We go ask the parents, his friends, his family, everyone around him. We go to his house and they say, shit, where'd he go? Did you see Brian leave? We're not really sure where Brian is. And then the next day it comes out, Brian's not missing because that's what the FBI said. They're now looking for missing persons, Gabby Patito and Brian Laundrie. And then his lawyer comes out and says, oh, he's not missing. You don't have to look for him. He's in hiding. Dude, when someone goes into hiding, what does that usually indicate? Maybe he's guilty of a crime. Not sure, but we're going to figure it out. Don't worry. So the FBI, the local police, the fucking CIA, President Biden, President Donald Trump, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100%, you can double check, but I'm pretty sure Obama is out and about from his house in the wilderness looking for Brian Laundrie. So what happens? We have the United States, the Federal Bureau Investigators, fuck it, whatever FBI stands for. I probably fucked it up. Who gives a shit? But the FBI, dude. The FBI is now looking for both of these people, and this is just a week ago, so no crazy updates here from me. Just a week ago, the FBI is looking for both of these kids, 20s. I don't know how old they are. Probably, let's see, how old is Gabby? I think they're in their 20s. Yeah, Gabby's 22, so they're young. They're young kids, dude. So they're looking for these kids. We're not sure what happened. We don't know what's going on just yet. And the FBI, from my understanding, the FBI is supposed to be the best of the best. This is a government-ran organization. They find people, they find criminals, they find missing children. The FBI has done so much for this country over the last, however long, hundreds of years, however long the FBI has been around. And so then we get a phone call. Not me, we. The FBI gets a phone call. And that phone call comes from Jen and Kyle. And that phone call pretty much goes, that's the phone ringing. Oh, shit. Okay, well, this says FBI. Hey, this is the FBI. How may I help you? Hi, my name's Jen. Me and my husband, Kyle, we're YouTubers, and we have 40,000 subscribers. Not a lot. Basically anything anyone can accomplish in a month or two if they know what the fuck they're doing. And we're pretty sure we found the van and Gabby's body's probably nearby. So the fucking FBI says, okay. And they take the footage from the vlog because they're YouTubers, 40,000 subscribers. They're doing the same shit Gabby and Brian did. They're traveling the country. They're doing the van thing. And they find them. It leads the FBI directly to not only the van, so they now have all of that evidence, but the body of Gabby Patito. And rest in peace, of course, Gabby, 22 years old, beautiful, beautiful young girl. And it's unfortunate, right? She was living her dream. She wanted to travel. She wanted to do it in the van. She wanted to do it with a person she loved. She just started a YouTube channel for it that only has one video on it as of today. Who knows who else has control? So there might be more on there, but just one video. And now we know it's been confirmed. They have found her body, and unfortunately, Gabby Patito has passed away. The coroner has nothing else to report other than that it was a homicide. So now, before he was in hiding or, missing, Brian is now not public enemy number 1. He is public enemy number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through 100. He is the most wanted person right now in the United States, if that's where he is. So so we unfortunately have found Gabby in this unfortunate circumstance, and just terrible situation, right? We all wanted her to be okay. We wanted to find her like unconscious or alive or somewhere in Wyoming. Maybe Brian just stranded her there and drove back home and everything's going to be okay. But unfortunately, she has since passed. So now all of our focus has shifted to Mr. Brian Laundrie. And so some reports, some deer cams, some weird footage. They put him in the swamps of Florida. They put him in Alabama, which is close to Florida. And we're still looking for him, right? And now there is a $20,000 reward for anything leading to the identity and location of Brian Laundrie. Now, $20,000. I'm not saying that this isn't a good thing. I'm not saying that we shouldn't find him at all cost. All I'm saying is $20,000. Give me a week's time and I'll have enough clientele or product sold or views on a podcast or savings or crypto or whatever it might be. The average citizen can get themselves $20,000 if they're in a rut. Add another zero, FBI. Add another zero. Let's catch this motherfucker. Perfect example. Here's an example, dude. And I was going to bring this up on another episode with Justin and Megs here. There is a bakery. There's a bakery in California. Cakes, scones, cupcakes. A fucking bakery. Whatever you can get at a bakery, that's what this bakery sold. Now, they, unfortunately, non-related to this entire fucking episode, unfortunately, someone, we'll call him Jack. That's probably not his name. But Jack decided that on this day, he was going to break into this bakery. We'll call it Sweet Treats. That's what the bakery's called. Not really. Google it. You'll find out the real name. But in this example of the story, we'll call it Sweet Treats. So Jack decides he's going to break into Sweet Treats, get into the register, steal their money, and obviously grab himself a scone, grab himself a little cupcake, and get, probably his daughter, who he doesn't have custody of, a fucking ice cream cake for her birthday. So that's what Jack was doing at Sweet Treats last week. Now, obviously, Sweet Treats, California, they have security cameras. Get a fucking Wise Cam for $30 off Amazon. Also, shout out to Wise. You haven't sponsored the podcast yet. Maybe you will today. Shout out to Wise. If you need home security, cameras, monitors, motion detectors, they have lights, light strips, vacuums. They have every smart product you need for cheaper. Go to wise.com. Check out what they have. Anyways, this Sweet Treats Bakery had their Wise Cams set up perfectly. They even had Wise Cam Plus and Wise Cam Pro installed so they could go back and see all the footage from the night before when Jack was breaking into their bakery. So Jack breaks into the bakery. The next day, the owners find out, holy shit, there's a fucking ice cream cake missing and about $37 from the register, because I can't imagine that a bakery keeps more than $37 in their register. So they go through the footage. They got Wise Cam Plus. It doesn't matter. They go through the footage. They see it. They get his face. They screenshot his face. The next day, they're like, oh shit, fuck. We got robbed. What are we going to do? Not much, because when you get robbed, I don't know if you've ever been robbed, but the police, depending on where you live, there's not much for them to go off of. For a simple robbery at a simple bakery, they're not lifting fingerprints. There's no DNA samples. There's probably nothing we can do to find out who this person is. They take the security cam footage, the screenshot that they took, printed it, put it on every cupcake they sold in the store the next day. This is a true story. They posted pictures of the cupcake on social media. Not only, dude, did they sell out of these cupcakes, they went viral, and within 14 minutes, 14 minutes, less than a quarter of an hour, 14 minutes, on Facebook, they located the man, he was arrested, and now he's being prosecuted for theft. Okay? The last bit of that story, super hilarious. When he was arrested, obviously the police records and everything else going on in the area is public knowledge. So they took his jail photo, his fucking, where he's holding the sign. There's a term for it, but he's holding his photo in jail. And they grabbed that from the police county's website and they put it on the cupcakes the next day and went viral again. And now this bakery has found their robber. So needless to say, all the way back there, if social media can find someone who's robbing a bakery, if social media can find Gabby Patito's body from a vlog, a YouTuber with 40,000 subscribers, which means they get on average anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 views on every video, if that, probably less, we have now discovered Gabby's body, and the FBI, what were they doing? Nonetheless, I'm sure they're doing a great job. I'm sure they're doing the best job. I'm sure because of the virality of this news story, they're doing everything in their power to get it wrapped up and taken care of. But nonetheless, social media, a little bit more powerful than the FBI these days? Not sure. Is the FBI on TikTok? If not, they probably should be. So, $20,000 reward for Brian, or his whereabouts, is out here. And this is the reason you have made it to 20 minutes into this episode. Because, guys, Jesus, the Lord, whoever you believe in, religion aside, they have answered our prayers, and in walks Dog the Bounty Hunter. And if I couldn't be more excited, if I couldn't be more into a real life happening right now, there's not even a Netflix documentary, which I'm sure they're probably fucking already working on it. If there's not even that, if the saving grace to find Brian Laundrie in relation to the death of Gabby Patito, Dog the Bounty Hunter is the answer. I'm saying it here first. I bet everything, every penny, every amount of money that has been made on this podcast so far, which, because we're completely honest and truthful with our audience, has only been about $4.35. So what I will do is I will supplement my own money on top of what this podcast has made. I bet you $500 cash Dog the Bounty Hunter has something to do with finding Brian. He either finds him himself or helps the FBI or gives them a lead or does something. I believe so much in Dog the Bounty Hunter right now. I'm so ecstatic. I can't be more excited. Not excited at the fact that he's doing what he has to do in order to solve this case that's terrible, but excited that Dog is involved. We haven't seen Dog the Bounty Hunter for what? I think his last show on AMC was like in 2012, 2014, maybe. Fact check me on it, but that's okay. Dog the Bounty Hunter is here and he's going to save the day. So naturally, which most of you probably haven't seen, Dog the Bounty Hunter did a full interview, not a full interview, but a couple minute interview with Fox News, of course. And basically here is exactly what he had to say. I'm in the middle of it a little bit. If you want to find it, just do a Google search for Fox News, Dog the Bounty Hunter. It should be one of the first two things that pop up. So here's Dog, and he's talking about how they could potentially find Brian and how they potentially can't find Brian, and basically what he's going to do to solve the case. Because if anyone's going to find him, it's going to be Dog the Bounty Hunter. Here we go.
Now, the FBI has ultraviolet light tracking. Remember the Boston bomber? How they found the kid in the boat when they went over and the tarp was over him? They've got that. So I'm sure they're using that to cover with drones. I mean, he can't cover with mud. It's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. He can't cover with anything. He's going to light up. You know, I don't think he went to New York, or there's been a couple rumors he might have went to Mexico. I've been to Mexico. So if he's down there wanted, a white boy that doesn't know Spanish, the cartel's going to grab him for the reward. So no, he's not down there. You know, I don't think. Who knows? I've had to eat my words before.
Blah, blah, blah.
Sounds like when they got into argument, she screamed a lot. Now, if he's out in that tent, your voice will go, what, 2 miles? And she's screaming. What if he put his hand over her mouth to shut her up and killed her? Or did he do it worse? It all depends. The autopsy report is out, I believe, how she died, okay? That's gonna be your murder, death penalty sentence. So how do you say it could have been an accident? You know, the guy that killed my daughter in a car wreck, right? He passed too, but it was an accident. How do you say that? So, but right now we got to hunt him as a wanted fugitive. So the reason I went to Mr. Laundrie is because I carry a reputation with me. See me every night on Pluto TV. The reputation is he gives you a second chance. He gonna get you, but he gives you a second chance. So I thought, wow, the dad's gonna, you know, see me and crack, and I know the kid knows me, probably one of my fans. So I thought the dad would answer and talk. But I was very persistent without disturbing the peace and knocked a few times so they saw it was me. And I didn't play nasty and put a copy of the warrant on their front door, none of that. I was very respectful. And the dad can still reach out to me through social media. Let's get the kid captured alive. Alive. So the next step that I have is to, now we work off leads, okay? We don't have a crystal ball where we can say, oh, there's where he's at. Well, now we work off leads. Somebody knows something. Somebody else knows where he's at, where they dropped him off at, or did they drop him off? That person is going to call us. Because again, we're not the police. This is anonymous. We don't have to tell. We are willing to go to extreme measures to find him, whether it's in Mexico, I've got connections there, or anywhere. I think, again.
So, listen, here's the thing. If you know any whereabouts of Brian Laundrie's existence, or where he is, or where he's hiding, my suggestion to you, and much like you take all of Joe Rogan's health advice and any advice that he gives on his podcast, call Dog the bounty hunter before you call the FBI, because I want to see this guy catch him. You know what I mean? Like, it's at the point now where we need him. Listen, Dog the Bounty Hunter's been doing this for pretty much his whole life on TV since early 2000s. I did some searching. He has caught over 8,000 different people who were wanted warrants or whatever, some big, some small, some medium, whatever it is. 8,000 people in the last 20 years they've brought down. So if anyone's going to find them, I think Dog definitely will have something to do with the case, but we'll see. Who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? Brian might turn himself in. Brian might be caught by local police. Brian might have like an outstanding parking ticket in Florida or something that leads to his arrest. Who knows? But also, Dog the Bounty Hunter, here's a quick bit for you. He's good friends with Nicolas Cage. And anyone who's friends with Nicolas Cage, for me, it's all right in my book. Apparently, Nicolas Cage was in jail for something, probably something minor, and Dog bailed him out of jail. He doesn't like to talk about it because, confidentiality of his clients, whatever. But he's in deep with Nicolas Cage. So if Nicolas Cage has anything to do with catching Brian Laundrie and Dog the Bounty Hunter, I'm here for it. So that's where we're at. That's all we have. That's the latest news. I can't really give you any more at this point. Maybe I'll bring this back up once the whole case is solved and wrapped up around them. But all we have to say is rest in peace to Gabby Patito. This is a very unfortunate situation. And we, as much as I joke and am sarcastic on this episode of this podcast, it is very sad. Very unfortunate. And it is something that we're talking about, just in the house, Megs and I, Justin and I, when we're off doing things together, it gets brought up, our friends, our families, everyone's talking about this. So if we can find if we can find Brian, that's going to put ease to a lot of people's minds. And fuck, his parents. Brian's parents who aren't cooperating with the FBI or, not telling them, oh, we don't know where he is. Motherfucker, you were with him for like a week when we were still looking for Gabby. So you know exactly where he is and you know exactly what he has and the resources and all that other shit. So it's not... This isn't a mystery anymore. We need to double down on his parents. We need to double down on his whereabouts. I know in that interview, I don't think I played the clip, Dog said one of either Gabby's friends or Brian's friends, if you watch the whole thing, will say that, he has some relation to the mountains or wherever he was or in a different part of the country that he spent like 1 to 2 months there maybe. So that's the first place that I think we should be looking for him. So, like I said, if you know anything about him, for the 13 people listening, I doubt we will, or this podcast will have any impact on the location of this man. But this is what's going on, and this is what this podcast was built around. What are we doing? What are we doing to find Brian? What are we doing with this whole situation? Because some of it seems ridiculous. Brian was in Florida. We knew exactly where Brian was for a period of time. And the fact that a local sheriff, an FBI agent, a police deputy, anybody in law enforcement let him slip through the gates of his own home or his parents' home and to now wherever he is. What are we doing? Let's find him. Let's get this shit wrapped up. Dude, Dog the Bounty Hunter, I pray you find this kid. Listen, I know this episode isn't as funny or isn't as a little bit more serious than else, but I feel like I had to talk about it. I had to get my opinions out. I had to get everything out on this. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been another episode just giving you a weekly update of what's going on in the world. Let's find them. Rest in peace, Gabby. Listen, we love you. We loved everything you stood for, everything you were doing, the traveling, the vlog, the Instagram page, everything was amazing. And it's unfortunate that this is where it has ended. But it's not over yet. And we're going to get justice. We're going to find Brian. We're going to prosecute him. We're going to hit him with every fucking hammer in the tool bag, because he is one. And, it's going to be okay in the end. And we're going to get justice. So this has been another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. Thank you guys so much, for listening to me. I know my last solo episode was kind of, according to my mother. So, fuck. And, hopefully I can do these again and just give you guys some quick updates on what's going on in the world. Thank you so much. My name is Levi. This is the What Are We Doing podcast, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully I'll get Megs and Kodak back in here and we can laugh and have fun and do exactly what this podcast was meant for. So thank you guys.